All right, people, we have made it to Wednesday. Hump day right here on the hottest show on the streets, bringing you that Bama football news, that Crimson Tide flavor in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Proud to have you guys checking us out on today as we bring you the show, as always, from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming this to you on YouTube. And speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. You hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the subscribe button now. Get every friend, family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to subscribe, because if you are enjoying what's happening, others will as well. Also, like the show. Give us that thumbs up, run those likes up, make the Shore Show your platform, network, channel, space to talk Bama football. Trying to get this to 50 likes right now to start the show. Hit that like button right there. All donations and super chats appreciated and welcomed here. Daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. As always, you turn on those post notifications, hit that little bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes down to your Bama football. Missing no update whatsoever. We got a great show this evening. We're gonna get to my man, the director of scouting and recruiting for TDA, Justin Smith. It's coming on a little bit later on in the show to talk about the departures, or how the departures of Pete Gold and Bill O'Brien affect Alabama in recruiting, if they have any effect at all. But we want to hear from you, the Bama fan base, the Bama Nation. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. The number to call in to let your voice be heard, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. But, John, we start things off with the news that happened on Tuesday, early Tuesday morning. Something that the Alabama fan base has been waiting to see: the departure of Bill O'Brien. It's been talked about. When is O'Brien going to go? When is O'Brien going to leave? I know the contract expires after February, but can he be going yet? Is he going now? When is he going? Well, we got the news early Tuesday morning that O'Brien back to the National Football League with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick made it happen. We knew it was going to happen. At some point, we knew. I mean, the Patriots were the only team consistently being linked to Bill O'Brien repeatedly. There are other teams that had interest, that wanted O'Brien, but everywhere you turned, whether it was a Patriots beat writer or an NFL insider, no matter where you turned, O'Brien was consistently linked to the New England Patriots. So we knew it was going to happen, but the question would be, how long would it take? And, well, as of Tuesday, it happened. O'Brien, after 2 seasons with the Alabama Crimson Tide, 2021 and this past year, he is back in the NFL as an offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots. So what does this mean? This means that Coach Saban is on his quest to find a new OC, a new offensive play caller. And who would that guy be? Who becomes the name, the big fish out there that Coach Saban can reel in, that would bring fresh ideas, new ideas, creativity, innovation, and also balance? Because you ask the Alabama fan, what do you want? You want creativity. You want innovation. You want to be able to throw the ball all around the field when you want to and get those big explosive plays. But you also want to have moments where you can line up and run the ball down the opposing team's throat. You want the best of both worlds. So which offensive mind can present that card, can give you the best of both worlds? So that's what Coach Saban is on the quest here for. And according to a lot of people that I've had conversations with within the program, close to the program, on this very topic here of who could the offensive coordinator be, there are 3 names that instantly come to mind in terms of big target names. Those 3 names, you've got Jeff Lebby, got Joe Brady, and you've got Brian Johnson. Those are the three names as of right now. Brian Johnson, kind of the more rising name these last couple of days here. But to start this thing off with Jeff Lebby, for me, this is a guy that it doesn't matter where he's been in college football. Lebby has been successful. He's become the number one talked about target in terms of potentially replacing Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator. Lebby, at 39 years of age, he is a native of Oklahoma. He started off his coaching career as a grad assistant for the Sooners, but he got his big break at Baylor. And at Baylor, this was where he really turned on as a play caller. I mean, he was at Baylor from 2008 to 2016, where he served in a number of different roles, including passing game coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator. And it didn't matter which quarterback you plugged in that offense, whether it was Robert Griffin III or Bryce Petty or Nick Florence. It really didn't matter. All three of those guys were 3,000-plus yard quarterbacks. Robert Griffin III won the Heisman Trophy in 2011. You look at the wide receivers that came through Baylor, several of those guys, whether it was Katie Cannon, Corey Coleman, Antoine Goodley, Terrence Williams, those Kendall Wright, all of those guys, 1,000-yard receivers. Boom, 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 like Lebby was putting them out. Even at the running back position, running backs 8 in this offense. Shocklin Wood, 2-time 1,000-yard back. Macy Strunk, 2-time 1,000-yard back. Terrence Williams, or Terrence Ganaway, first name was Terrence, was a 1,000-yard back also. So at Baylor, that was an offense under Lebby that was putting up points, putting up yards, putting up production. When he goes from Baylor to University of Central Florida, UCF, the Knights averaged over 43 points a game in 2018 and 2019. Lebby took Dylan Gabriel as a quarterback, made him a 3,000-yard guy, just excelled there at UCF. Then he goes to Ole Miss, the SEC, hooks up with Lane Kiffin, helps the likes of Matt Corral become an NFL quarterback, helps Snoop Connor, Jerrion Ealy. Both of those had success running the football. Dontario Drummond, Elijah Moore, both 1,000-yard receivers. So Lebby did work at Ole Miss. And then he spent last season at Oklahoma. And the Sooners were in a rebuilding year in the first season under head coach Brent Venables. And Lebby did work there. Dylan Gabriel, of whom he had at UCF, transfers to Oklahoma. Gabriel becomes a 3,000-yard quarterback for the Sooners. Eric Gray, a 1,200-yard rusher, 1,266 yards, 11 touchdowns. And then Marvin Mims Jr., a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,083 yards. So Jeff Lebby, a guy that's creative, he's innovative. His offenses have been quarterback-friendly, running back-friendly, wide receiver-friendly. He's been good at every coaching stop. That's Jeff Lebby. He'll bring you creativity. He'll bring you fun. He'll bring you balance. Number 2 here would be Joe Brady. And all you have to say is 2019 LSU offense, and immediately Bama fans, hey, I'm hooked. I'm sold. Because the concepts that Brady brought over from being an analyst for the New Orleans Saints to LSU in one season was just jaw-dropping. You discuss that LSU team in 2019, it averaged 48.4 points per game. In 12 of the 15 games, it totaled 40-plus points, including 3 60-point games. Joe Burrow had near 6,000 passing yards, 60 touchdown passes, won the Heisman Trophy. He becomes a first-round pick. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a 1,400-yard running back, he becomes a first-round pick. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, both guys were 1,000-yard receivers. Jamar Chase, a Blitnikoff Award winner. Both of those guys, first-round picks. You had Thaddeus Moss and Terrace Marshall Jr. All of those guys made plays like LSU was like the Jackson 5 on tour in that offense. It was crazy. Got all the way to the SEC championship, won that. National championship, took down Dabo Swinney, Trevor Lawrence, and Clemson. And I understand things did not work out the greatest for Joe Brady at the Carolina Panthers, but now he's with the Buffalo Bills as a quarterback coach, and Josh Allen, otherworldly talent. But Joe Brady, you think about what he could bring to this offense would be incredible if you can get that man to Tuscaloosa. And then last but not least, Brian Johnson, who is the quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles the last 2 years. This man on screen is the reason why Jalen Hurts is having the season he's having right now. This guy right here, Brian Johnson, is the reason why Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, MVP finalist, and a finalist for AP Offensive Player of the Year. Some background here on Brian Johnson. He was a quarterback himself, played at Utah, played behind Alex Smith as a quarterback for the Utes. He started from 2005 to 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Fun fact for the Bama fans out here, Brian Johnson was the starting quarterback for that Utah team that beat Alabama in the 2009 Sugar Bowl off the 2008 season. Little fun fact right there. That's that guy, Brian Johnson. Johnson took Dak Prescott at Mississippi State when he was a quarterback coach there, made Prescott a star. Johnson got his hands on De'Aaron King at Houston. Young De'Aaron King made him into a big name there. And with what he is doing with Jalen Hurts, if Alabama could get its hands on Brian Johnson, what this guy could do for a Jalen Milroe. He's already doing wonders with the Jalen Hurts, but imagine what Brian Johnson could do with a Jalen Milroe. I mean, just think about that for a minute. So those are the three target names: Lebby, Brady, Brian Johnson. Now, if Saban was to handle this internally, handle this in-house, there are two names you could think about. But two names you could think about are coming up on screen right here. Well, one name is in-house. The other name was once in-house. He's an offensive coordinator somewhere else. But is it too late for Alabama to possibly snatch him back to Tuscaloosa? These two names, number one would be Derek Dooley, the 54-year-old who is an offensive analyst on Saban's staff. Dooley is a Saban guy. Dooley was with Saban at LSU from 2000 to 2004. Serving in a variety of roles, helping out Saban get LSU a BCS national championship in 2003. Dooley followed Saban to the Miami Dolphins in 2005. Dooley's got a wealth of offensive experience. He's been a head coach before at Louisiana Tech and Tennessee. So if Alabama wanted to make the role of Dooley as the OC, it could, but does Saban pull that card? Another name would be Alex Mortensen. Now, I understand he's at UAB now, offensive coordinator for Trent Dilfer, but during Mort's time in Tuscaloosa from 2014 to 2018 as a graduate assistant, and from 2019, this past season as an offensive analyst, he has seen the process, he has seen how it works, he has seen the growth of quarterbacks. Mort, a former quarterback himself. When you look at this, Alex Mortensen's played a role in helping Blake Sims, Jacob Coker, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, and Bryce Young all have success. Mort's played a big role in that. When you look at just him as an analyst, he helped Tua Tagovailoa set records. He helped Mac Jones set records. He helped Bryce Young become the first Alabama quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy. So Mort, very smart, very bright, very savvy offensive mind. So if Coach Saban could maybe snatch him back from UAB, that could be an option if Saban were to choose to do that. But those were your two guys that, one in-house, one no longer in-house. If you wanted to, you can bring them back in-house. But those are just the options there for Saban in terms of who could replace Bill O'Brien as the offensive play caller in Tuscaloosa as his tenure came to a close on Tuesday. O'Brien back in the NFL with the New England Patriots. But we take our first break on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting you started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We get to a dialogue with you, the Bama faithful, right after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back, rocking and rolling into the action from the break. Hottest show in the streets. We're giving you that Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got the man John Ivory in the production studio. We got some super chats right here. So how about Eric Beasley with that $10 donation? Showing love from the show. Appreciate Eric Beasley. Then we got Brandon Wilkins with that $4.99 in the super chats as well. Appreciate Eric Beasley and Brandon Wilkins dancing. Stephen does as well as he's doing his thing there with the khaki pants on. But we're going to go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Stephen M. Smith, my man. This is Ed from Lincoln, Alabama. I got a couple of things what topics I want to discuss you and get your opinion on. One would be the OC search, Stephen, would be a guy that I really like, and he's talked about very little, is the OC at SMU, Casey Woods. I watched him play some this year, and man, he's pretty sharp. I mean, I like his style of offense. Do you know much about him?
I like Woods. I like what Woods did at SMU. I really did. And, I mean, in the next coming days, maybe does he jump into the conversation? Maybe so. But I know right now we haven't heard much conversation about him. But I did watch quite a bit of SMU this past season. That offense is fun. It's innovative. He brings balance to it. He's creative with it. So maybe in the coming days to weeks, maybe his name jumps in.
Yeah, I would. Hey, he's really good. And one other thing I want to, Stephen, do you think that Coach Saban will maybe try to go a little more up tempo this year versus the past? I mean, what's your feeling on that?
I mean, it could, but at the same time, Saban still has this desire to want to run the football. That's still the desire right there. He still wants to line up whenever Alabama feels like it can and run the football at will. So that's the thing right now. It's having the best of both worlds. Can you have the up-tempo style when you need it, but then also do you have the ability to slow it down and pound the football in between the tackles, wear the defense down when you feel like you can do so? So the thing is, Saban kind of wants to have that best of both worlds, so that's what he's looking at there.
Oh, I totally agree. You've got to be able to run the ball, but I'd like to see us maybe try to do a little better job of utilizing our talent, creating mismatches. Let's see maybe some, reverses, some jet sweeps and stuff like that. But I guess we'll know soon enough.
Absolutely. Appreciate my man Ed from Lincoln calling in right there to start off this show. We take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Yo. This is Jacob from I guess you can say I'm from Sylacauga, Alabama, man. How are you doing?
Doing great, Jacob, and yourself?
Man, let me tell you, I've been listening to you for so long, man. You are my go-to guy for all Alabama information, man.
I greatly appreciate that, Jacob. Thank you.
I'm a first-time caller, man. This is great, man. This is great. I'm getting to talk to you, man. Let me tell you, man. A lot of people are talking about Jeff Levy, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I want Jeff Levy, man. After what his showing at Oklahoma this past year, I don't know if I want him. You know, that offense at Oklahoma was absolutely atrocious. Like, I understand that's a first year, you know, type program, but man, I think the go-to guy has got to be Joe Brady. It has to be.
When I look at,
you know what I'm saying?
When I look at Levy's first year, Jacob, you also got to take this into account. Oklahoma got gutted in terms of his talent. You lost Caleb Williams to the transfer portal. You lost several guys to the transfer portal. So Brent Venables had to dig and find guys. So for what Levy was able to do, and you dig and find guys, pretty solid, pretty remarkable if you ask me. Now, going back to 2019.
I know. I guess I'm kicking a guy while he's down. I understand that, you know. But
yeah.
I mean, damn, you know.
But Jacob, I do share your sentiment of Joe Brady, right? Because in 2019, when we watched that LSU offense, that was insane what we saw. I mean, even when LSU played Bama, it took literally a hobbled Tua to almost beat LSU. Like, Alabama was the only team that year that came close to LSU, and you can imagine if Tua didn't have the tightrope surgery on his ankle prior to that game, if Tua was healthy, you beat LSU.
Absolutely. And I think Joe Brady is the guy that can take Ty Simpson to the next level. I think Joe Brady is that guy because he's a quarterback guru, man. This guy can do magical things with these quarterbacks, man. I think Ty Simpson is the guy. I think Joe Brady and Ty Simpson mixed together, man. I think they can do magical things together. I'm talking about putting together seasons like maybe the 2019 LSU team and maybe what Mac Jones did and in 2020. I think it can be that kind of season if you get those two together. I mean, I think it can be absolutely magical.
Well, Jacob, one thing for sure, we're going to see what Nick Saban does. We're going to see because he knows we got to get this thing back to where it needs to be at. But appreciate Jacob calling in from Sylacauga, giving his thoughts on the show. We grabbed this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, this is Michael from Columbia, South Carolina. How you doing?
Doing great, Michael, and yourself?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I cannot complain here, man. I got a chance to talk football with Alabama fans, so hey, I mean, nothing better than that.
How do you feel about finding somebody to replace the coach?
Well, I mean, there are names out there, Michael. Of course, I've laid them out there. When you look at Jeff Levy's a name out there. Joe Brady's a name out there. Brian Johnson, quarterback coach for the Eagles, his name has been rising some out there as well. So Saban's got his short list of coaches that he looks at. I'm pretty sure he's figured out who he wants, and it's only a matter of time before that element comes to the forefront.
Well, I tell you, Steven, there's one guy that I truly wish could have came, and I really would have loved to see Garrett Riley at Alabama. What do you think?
I mean, to me, Michael, I kind of felt like Coach Saban hopped on the plane to go to the national championship because he was doing all the ESPN stuff, but he was at the national championship game, probably saying, okay, how good is this Garrett Riley dude for real? That's probably one of the hidden reasons why Coach Saban was there, and it would have been cool to have him, but I mean, Clemson made the move. Dabo Swinney made the move. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, there's still names out there. There's still primetime names out there that if Coach Saban wants a primetime name, there's still names out there he can get.
And then lastly, Steven, how do you feel about the receiver room for next season, with Jacoby Brooks, Colby Prentice, Jermaine Burton, Kendrick Law, Leah Bond, the Benson transfer. I think his last name Benson transfer. How do you feel about those guys? Shaz Preston, kind of getting those guys going next year. How do you feel about the wide receiver room?
I feel great about the room, Michael. The big thing is the guy throwing them the football. Who's going to be that quarterback? The guy throwing them the football, because Prentice can go, Isaiah Bond can run, Chaz Preston can ball. We saw Kendrick Law pop off toward the back half of the season. Jermaine Burton came along at the end of the season. Ja'Cory Brooks had moments last year. You got Blake Benson in here. You got talent. This wide receiver room is full of talent. The question is going to be, who wins at quarterback that can get these guys the ball and let these guys have fun?
Then I'm gonna let you go. Last thing is for the defense, and I'm very, very. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm very, very a little worried about the defense. We lose Will Anderson, Jordan Battle, DeMarco Hellams. Who do you feel will be the guys to kind of fill that void, that role, the way Will Anderson and Byron Young and DeMarco Hellams and Jordan Battle, the way they did?
Well, when you look at first with Byron Young, I look for Justin Aboigbe to fill that role. Aboigbe expected to be back for the Crimson Tide, so I look at him. Tim Smith, Jamil Burrows to kind of fill that role left behind by Byron Young and DJ Dale. When I look at Will Anderson, it's Chris Braswell time. It is Chris Braswell's time. He's been around the program for a while. This is his moment, he along with Dallas Turner. When I look at the secondary, yes, you lose Jordan Battle and DeMarco Hellams, but here's a time for guys like Malachi Moore. Here's a time for guys like Christian Story. Here's a time for, if a freshman wants to take it, here's a shot for a guy like Caleb Downs, if a freshman feel like they can take it. So there are those guys that I feel like will fill in those holes left behind by guys going off to the next level. But I appreciate Michael from South Carolina giving the call in on the show. We'll grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from?
This is Pat from Atlanta, Steven.
Pat, what's going on, brother?
How's it going, man? Pretty good. Just a couple things I wanted to touch on with you and get your opinions on is with the coordinator, I kind of had Garrett Riley in mind for the coordinator, but that didn't pan out. So it's really whatever the decision, I think we can make it work, because I feel like the blueprint of the offense kind of, because it's so spring is coming up, so I'm like, maybe we need to make a move on the coordinator pretty soon, But lastly, I just want to touch on just the kind of the appearance of the guy, the physical attributes. It seemed like the guy's been losing kind of their stature and has been holding their weight. You know what I'm saying? Like the physicality of the guys and their size. These past few teams, I feel like we need to get some more. You know what I'm saying? Bulkiness, how Georgia looked. We kind of like toe. He was skinny. You know what I'm saying? Small for a linebacker position this year.
I see that, Pat. I mean, and I share that also, and that's the reason why you look at a Kendrick Blackshaw, who's a bigger guy at that linebacker position, can provide for thump. A Deontay Lawson, a bit of a bigger guy that can provide some thump, but also go sideline to sideline. You brought in a JUCO guy and Justin Jefferson, who's got size. He's got a verified 4.38 40. You've got Tresman Marshall, another transfer that comes in from Georgia. He's 6'1", 230, so he's got some size on him. So I see what you're saying. Bama's got to get back to the size, but also not just the physicality, but the ability to read, react, and just fly in there. There were a lot of times where you didn't have that fearless guy that just read, react, I'm going now, and take off, go and take somebody's head off. Find the gap, shoot it, run up in there, clean somebody's clock. We saw Deontay Lawson do it a good bit when he was able to be out there on the field last season. Want to see him continue doing that. But along with the physicality, getting more guys, see the gap open, shoot in there like a bat out of New York, and clean somebody's clock out.
Roll Tide, Steven. I appreciate it.
Appreciate Pat from Atlanta calling into the show. I mean, that's what Bama's got to have back on defense is read, energy, effort, discipline, read, react. 5 keys defense right there. That's just I'm not a coach, but if I was, that would just be, my set of keys right there defensively. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? Hey, your name and where you calling from?
My set of keys right there defensively. Show, what's going on?
Kind of turn the sound down, man. You're live on the show. Well, unfortunately, we lost that call right there. Would have loved to have gotten him in, but we lost that call there. But 205-448-1358, number to call in. Let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. Got to show some love to Brandon Wilkins with a $9.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate Brandon Wilkins showing love here on the platform. Also, Bama Nation. I got to shout you guys out for what you did yesterday, Tuesday, on the Bama Standard and the tribute to Ahmad Galloway, the donations that were just lavished upon his family, in particular his children, for their scholarship fund. U.S. fans did a phenomenal job showing the love, the honor to Ahmad Galloway's family and the loss of just a tremendous running back and a tremendous man to the Alabama football family. So definitely appreciate all of you for checking out the tribute to Ahmad Galloway on yesterday. But we get into our call topic for the evening, and that's on one Jalen Hurts, who has had a remarkable third year in the NFL, second season as a starter for the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy has Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers, 1 win away from a Super Bowl appearance, and he is a finalist for the NFL Most Valuable Player and the Associated Press's Offensive Player of the Year. Hurts put in work this season. He totaled 3,701 passing yards, which was 10th among quarterbacks in the league. Got 38 total touchdowns, including 14 rushing scores. Well, what a year for Jalen. Big year for him. And hopefully wins the NFC Championship for the Eagles, gets Philly to a Super Bowl, and maybe wins Philly a Super Bowl. Hey, now, if Philly wins a Super Bowl now, Jalen Hurts, max contract, Howie Roseman, Philly, you're going to have to make that happen. This brother carries home a Vince Lombardi trophy. As of now, continuing to silence every critic, every doubter that has come in his direction. We go to a break right here, folks. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we sit down with the director of scouting and recruiting for Touchdown Alabama magazine, my man Justin Smith. You'll hear from him right after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back to the action from the break, rocking and rolling on the hottest forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. We're right now at 75 likes. Continue hitting that thumbs up, hitting that like button. Let's get this thing to 100 likes. Hit that like button right there. Make this your show, your network platform, channel space to talk all things Crimson Tide football. Also, all donations welcome and appreciated. That daily Super Chat goal, $100 daily Super Chat goal. We thank you, the Bama football family. But right now, we go to the In My Own Words hotline. We pick up the legend in the flesh, the director for scouting and recruiting for all things TDA, my man Justin Smith. Justin, what's happening, brother? Glad to have you in here. What's going on?
What's up, Steven? Always glad to be on.
Always great to have Justin Smith in to talk recruiting for the Crimson Tide. So, Justin, starting this thing off here, we got the news of not one coordinator, both Alabama coordinators gone. Pete Golding, defensive coordinator, gone. Bill O'Brien, as of Tuesday, back in the NFL with the New England Patriots as its offensive coordinator. In terms of recruiting, how does this impact the Crimson Tide, if it impacts the Crimson Tide at all?
I think it's a lot of different ways to look at it in terms of them losing both coordinators. Of course, Pete Golding, he was a great recruiter during his time in Tuscaloosa. With him leaving, the Crimson Tide most likely will instruct Austin Armstrong, their new inside linebacker coach, to recruit the state of Louisiana, which is where Pete Golding had a lot of success. So it's going to be upon Armstrong to keep things rolling on the recruiting trail inside the state of Louisiana in particular, and try to basically replace Pete Golding as a great recruiter. We've seen guys come into Tuscaloosa. Like I always say, once you put that script A on your chest, you can turn into a great recruiter. Good recruiters turn into great recruiters when they come to Alabama. We have that type of program to sell to recruit. So Austin Armstrong is a guy I'll pay attention to in terms of replacing some of Pete Golding's production and recruiting trail specifically inside the state of Louisiana. Going to Bill O'Brien, his biggest impact was made with recruiting quarterbacks, specifically Ty Simpson. Also played a role when the Crimson Tide landed Dylan Lonergan and Eli Hosting, signing them in the 2023 recruiting class. So their next offensive coordinator, Crimson Tide's next offensive coordinator, if they're able to recruit quarterbacks at a high level, that would be a huge plus. But if you're able to recruit other positions as well, there'll be another huge plus and upgrade in my mind over Bill O'Brien, who, like I said, basically played a huge role in the Crimson Tide landing quarterbacks. So I'm interested in seeing what the Crimson Tide actually hire, who they put on their staff at those coordinator positions for you, because you definitely want at least one of those guys to be great recruiters at this point. And both of them are great recruiters. That's just a huge plus with the Crimson Tide. But I think this also is just great timing. I'm pretty sure it's by design. You know, Nick Saban have these guys leaving the program after signing those guys in the 2023 recruiting class. So now you turn attention to the 2024 recruiting class, which is still in this very, very early stages. Alabama seems to just keep putting out offers for 2024 guys. So it's a lot of guys in that 2024 class who they are just starting to build relationships with. So it's great timing as well. And like I said, we all know that it's by design with Nick Saban. So that is the way I look at it in terms of the recruiting impact.
If you are just checking out the show here on a Wednesday, we got the director of scouting and recruiting for Touchdown Alabama magazine, our own Justin Smith, joining us right now on the phone line. So, Justin, when you look at Coach Saban here, does he need to make home run hires, in your opinion, in terms of keeping that recruiting where it needs to be, where both coordinator spots are concerned? Does Saban need a home run hire at both spots, in your opinion?
I think great recruiters are always a huge plus. You definitely want guys who can build relationships for sure. Those are the two of the biggest things. Like I said, I think at least one of these guys needs to be a great recruiter and wants to put in the effort to recruit, because we all know recruiting is all about relationships, showing that particular recruits and their family that they are wanted in Tuscaloosa and that they are going to be in good hands in Tuscaloosa. So great recruiters are definitely going to be a huge plus for Alabama. I know a lot of times you look at it from the outside looking in, it just seems that Alabama just lands all of these top guys. You just sell the program, but a lot of times, especially in today's game, when you look at programs like Georgia, Ohio State, and some of the other top programs competing with Alabama for some of these top guys, these guys are going to have to recruit. So yeah, that's going to be a huge part of their job. So like I said, Bill O'Brien wasn't known for being an ace recruiter, so you can get away with one of them not being just a super great recruiter. But if both of them are great recruiters, like I said, I think that would be a huge upgrade. But I think at least one of them needs to be a great recruiter.
When you look at Justin, this 2024 class, you talked about it, a lot of these guys just now starting to get offers. There's a lot of talent within the state of Alabama. Who in this 2024 class are you already starting to get excited by that's got just tremendous potential as a collegiate athlete?
Well, that's a lot. We take a look at the Crimson Tide 2024 class, the commits that they currently have. Of course, Julian Sands, a guy Alabama fans are really excited about, just his ability to move around throw the football, be an athletic quarterback out of California with the Crimson Tide, basically dipping into the West Coast and landing another quarterback out of California after Bryce Young moving on to the NFL. Jalen Mbakwe is a special athlete. He's exciting to watch. Perry Thompson as well, the big physical wide receiver out of Foley High School in Foley, Alabama. The Crimson Tide are going to try their best to hold on to him as long as possible. Sterling Dixon, of course, the linebacker out of Mobile Christian Schools, another good prospect of the Crimson Tide who they have a commitment from at the moment. It's 2024 recruiting cycle. But as far as this 2024 recruiting class, like I said, going back to Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding leaving with it being perfect timing, this 2024 recruiting board for the Crimson Tide is still shaping up. It's going to be impacted a lot by camps this summer, more spring visits, and a lot of things like that. The Crimson Tide get an opportunity to get a lot of these guys who just offered on campus and meet Nick Saban, and the Crimson Tide get an opportunity to evaluate them a little bit more, see them in person, verify their sizes. So when it comes to the 2024 recruiting class, there's a lot of questions at the moment, which positions Alabama will prioritize and things among those natures. But when you take a look at the 2024 recruiting class inside the state of Alabama, State is going to be loaded with talent, but it's not going to be as loaded as the 2023 recruiting class was, but it's definitely some talent inside the state that the Crimson Tide are going to go after. In terms of recruiting inside the state, I think something to pay attention to would be that Auburn is going to be more of a threat this season with their new coaching staff. Just taking a look back at the 2023 recruiting class, it was kind of weird because there were not many in-state recruiting battles. Although that class was loaded, one of the best classes the state of Alabama has ever produced, there are not many recruiting battles where it was Auburn versus Alabama. But I think that's going to change a little bit here in this 2024 recruiting class with at least at the moment, with the excitement that is around Hugh Freeze and Cadillac Williams and everything that's going on at the Auburn program. But of course, that is all going to depend on how their season goes. I think they're going to have a lot of momentum right now, like a lot of teams with new coaches. But the way that their season goes is going to impact that as well.
He is Justin Smith, folks, the Director of Scouting and Recruiting for Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Join us right here on the phone lines. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. On a Wednesday, as always, Justin, man, we appreciate the breakdown. We appreciate you spending time with us, man. Take care of yourself. Be good out there.
You do the same, too.
Always a fun conversation having Justin on to talk recruiting 2024 class. It may not be as deep with in-state talent as the 2023 this recent group was, but still, you get talent on the recruiting trail. Your Coach Saban, gotta evaluate these guys right, bring them in here and see what they can provide in Tuscaloosa. But right now we go to our break here. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, line us up. We go on the phone lines. We grab your calls after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're rocking and rolling in here to the action from the break. Hottest show on these streets, talking your Crimson Tide. Football news on a Wednesday, hump day in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting that like button at 92 likes. We're looking for the last 8 at 92. Waiting on those last 8. Hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up there. Make this your show, your network platform channel and space to talk Bama football. Also, fans, all donations welcome and appreciated. We thank you, the Bama football family. But phone lines are open here. Taking your calls, 205-448-1358. Number to call in. Let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. And John, even though we talk primarily football here on the show, I got to segue this into Alabama men's basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan also. And the job Nate Oates has done with this team is 17-2 on the year. This team is number 2 in the nation right now. A lot of NBA pundits, not NBA, a lot of NCAA pundits like Joe Lenardi, Bracketology, they got Alabama as a 1 seed for the NCAA tournament. Some have Bama as a 2 seed. I mean, the job Oates has done is unreal, even with the situation regarding Darius Miles and the tragic the tragic thing there with what happened like a couple of weeks ago with Miles and the other young man and the young lady, the mother who lost her life there in the shooting that took place near the Tuscaloosa University of Alabama Strip. Regardless of that situation with Darius Miles, you're still seeing an Alabama team focused. You're still seeing an Alabama team locked in and still on the goal of trying to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. For me, hopefully Final Four. Brandon Miller, that guy's special as a freshman. He's a one-and-done guy. Gurley, Noah Clowney's played well. Charles Bediako's played out of his mind. Mark Shears has been fantastic. Javon Quinterly, you know what he is. Quick off the draw, off the dribble. Once he gets into the paint, attacking everything. Like this is a team with depth. This is a team with size. A team with athleticism. A team that can play defense. A team that can run the floor, shoot the three, play fast, play with fun. I am really enjoying this edition of Alabama football. Not football, basketball. And I know Nate Oates has been calling for a bigger, better basketball arena. Nothing wrong in particular with Coleman, but I know that Nate Oates is calling for a bigger, better arena. This basketball team keep playing like this, I think Greg Burns is going to kick out the money for that arena to come. So have to show some love there to the basketball program, the job that Oates has done here with this group of young men. But the call topic right here goes to one Bryce Young, BY9, former Heisman winner, 2020 national champion, or 2021 SEC champion as a starting quarterback, a guy that, rewrote the single season record books in 2021 when it comes to passing yards, passing touchdowns, total touchdowns. He ended his career second all-time for passing yards, second all-time for touchdown passes with 80, just 7 behind Tua Tagovailoa. So what a career that Bryce Young had in college, but as he prepares for the NFL Combine and the draft, he's trying to add some healthy weight to his 6-foot frame. Now, of course, Alabama had him listed throughout his career at 6 feet, 194 pounds. Now, when you look at Bryce, you would say, no way is this guy 6 feet. No way is this guy 194 pounds. But that's what UA had him listed as. As of right now, though, it's being reported that Young, working with a nutritionist, he's trying to add 16 more pounds to his frame. He's trying to get to 210 pounds. If Bryce Young can get to 210 pounds, that'd be good for him. That'd be good for him. I mean, it at least would show the NFL, hey, he's got the weight to absorb some NFL hits. Because those guys that are going to be hitting you in the league, they getting paid to hit you. They getting paid millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to try to end your career early. So if Bryce can get that healthy 16 pounds up to 210 pounds, that'd be really good for Bryce. As it stands right now, he is still viewed as possibly the number one quarterback taken, possibly the number one overall pick. There's so many draft boards out there that have him going number one overall to the Chicago Bears. You have to wonder, will there be an NFL team that will trade up, trying to get Bryce Young? Who knows? We will see what happens, but the news right now is Young working with a nutritionist, trying to add some healthy weight here to his 6-foot frame. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we wrap things up with my viewpoint of Bama fans want to get back to dominance. And it's okay for Bama fans to want that. They're not being unthankful. They're not being ungrateful for wanting that. And I'll talk about that after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets. We're talking Bama right here. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Appreciate everybody liking the show, donating in, making this your place to talk your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. But right now, John, kind of a fun way to end this show is looking at this statement right here, this topic right here, and that's, Alabama fans want to get back to the dominance, right? They want to get back to the elite, physical, bully ball style of play where they're the most feared, respected team, on the block. And there's nothing wrong for Alabama fans to desire this or to want this. And the reason for that is, you have some people out there that go, well, Alabama, you won 10 games this year. You won 11 games this year. You won 12 games this year. I mean, at least you got that. I mean, be grateful for the 10 wins. Be grateful for the 11 wins. Be grateful for the 12 wins. Some teams don't even get that. I mean, Nick Saban has brought you 8 Southeastern Conference titles. He's brought you 6 national championships. He's brought you 4 Heisman Trophy winners. He's brought you a boatload of All-Americans. I mean, at what point do you just say to be satisfied with just that? But when you become satisfied with just that, the state of the culture changes, right? The state of the program changes. And the Alabama fans that are about championships and dominance and having the right product on the field, those are the fans that keep Nick Saban on his toes. Those are the fans that keep Nick Saban kind of on that cutting edge there of college football, because you're not resting on past success. You're not resting on what you've done in recent seasons. You're always focused on trying to improve and trying to get better and trying to be better. It all goes back to, Saban saying, we're going to give you a product that you can be proud of, that you can boast about, that you can brag on. And the last 2 years here, this is a product that you're not proud of at all. Now, you can be proud of individual players, absolutely. You can be proud of individual players and not be proud of the product as a whole. You can be proud of Bryce Young, which we are. You can be proud of Will Anderson, which we are. You can be proud of just so many individual players that went out there and did their thing, absolutely, and still not be particularly fond of the product on the field as a whole. Because the product on the field as a whole, you saw undisciplined play. The product on the field as a whole, you saw poor execution. The product on the field as a whole, you saw lack of energy. You saw, at times, lack of effort. You saw, a team that really did not put it all together like we're used to seeing Crimson Tide teams do. And when you have a standard of excellence, when you have a standard of national championship, because when Saban first got to Alabama, it wasn't let's just win a couple of games. No, let's dominate teams. Okay, let's dominate teams. Let's win championships, and let's go on a run. Let's make Alabama the mecca, the power, the headquarters of college football. Let's make the headquarters of college football in Tuscaloosa. That was Saban's mindset. That was Saban's mentality upon getting into the University of Alabama. So if that was the mentality then, that needs to reshape and reform as the mentality right now. Because I look at two NFL teams, two NFL franchises where the culture was once championships and now it's completely changed. You look at the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Dallas Cowboys under Jimmy Johnson, championships. We're winning Super Bowls. That's the culture. We are Americans. We are America's team. How about them Cowboys? We about them Vince Lombardi trophies. We about them Super Bowls. And Jimmy Johnson made sure that got done. With Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, they got that done. We look at the Cowboys under Tom Landry with Roger Staubach and company. They were about them Super Bowls. That was the culture. They got that done. You look at the Cowboys under Barry Switzer. Super Bowl was about the culture. Got that done. Now, what is the culture of Dallas? We got the Dallas cheerleaders. We got the multi-media companies. We got the oil money. We got the celebrities. We got just the glitz and the glamour. Yeah, that's our culture now. We're just the glitz and the glamour. Not the Super Bowls, just the glitz and the glamour. The culture changed in Dallas. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the guys like Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher, tough, physical, mean, aggressive, Super Bowls. That was the culture for Pittsburgh. The terrible towel, the ketchup bottle over there at Heinz Field. That was the culture. Now you look at it, what's the culture? Well, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. Oh, that's cute. That's good. But that ain't Super Bowls. It's great that Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. Big whoop. Awesome. Where's the Vince Lombardi? Where that was once the culture. So you look at Alabama, the fans that are screaming, hey, 10-11 wins, okay, but that's not what we about. We about national championships, getting to those national championships, finishing the job and winning those. So for the Alabama fans that say, we got to get back to the standard, we got to get back to being elite, we got to get back to being dominant, we got to get back to being great, we got to get back to being the bully of college football. For the Alabama fans that think on that playing field, I'm right there with you. I'm absolutely right there with you. And for the ones that have the mentality of, give it a rest, relax, you've won, be thankful, be appreciative, I'm going to say this to that right there. When you have grown accustomed to greatness, taking a step back is a sin. When you've grown accustomed to greatness, taking a step back is wrong. When you grow accustomed to greatness, for example, I got a couple of family members, John, and I have a daughter at home now that they've been exposed to other restaurants, but the moment they got exposed to Chick-fil-A, something changed. It's like nobody do it like Chick-fil-A. Nobody greets you like Chick-fil-A. Nobody served the food like Chick-fil-A. Chicken sandwiches ain't like Chick-fil-A, though I think Popeyes would argue there. But the point being is, they got exposed what? To Chick-fil-A. So once they got exposed to Chick-fil-A, every other restaurant is second tier. I don't want to go back to that. Why? Because I've been exposed to Chick-fil-A. I've been exposed to this right here. So, in that same coin, when you've been exposed to great football, when you've been exposed to elite football, when you've been exposed to national championship football, especially for those of you in the Saban era and prior to the Saban era, when you talk Gene Stallings, Paul Bear Bryant, Wallace Wade, Frank Thomas. When you've been exposed to national title football, anything less than that is a downgrade. Anything less than that is second tier. So for Alabama fans out there that petition for, we want dominance, we expect dominance, we deserve dominance, hey, continue to be on your football program, because when you've been exposed to the best, then you want nothing less than that. So that's just my thoughts here on that topic, on the fans that want to see the best in every way, shape, or form. Gotta shout out my man Coach Smoke with that $9.99 in the super chats there, helping us out on the show. And as always, Bama fans, you want the best news, notes, information, creativity, and entertainment. You can check this out by going to touchdownalabama.com. That's touchdownalabama.com. Pick up your subscription today as we're covering your Crimson Tide from all angles, all facets, even in the off season. You can also purchase individual we also got the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app back up too. You can check out the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll try to be back on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Remember, Tide fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have that sent to your door. That link found in the description. Trying to get your hands on the fresh edition, print edition of TDA the magazine. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. Got to shout out my man Justin Smith, the director of scouting and recruiting for TDA, for coming on here and spending some time with us on this evening. Got to shout out you guys, the outstanding fans of Alabama football, all of the love, the donations, the super chats, the phone calls, the conversations, the likes, making this your place to talk Bama football. And I gotta show some love to my man John Ivory in the production studio, handling in that business as always. But for next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue right now doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored and getting that schoolwork done there. Get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, your man Stephen M. Smith, you've been listening. They're my own words.